Recording permissions with the SQL Profiler is an easy way of building new permission sets. It goes through a few steps. You open up the SQL Profiler, you restart the service tier to blank out the cache, you open up the nav client and select the server and company. Then you go start the profiler, go through the process in nav, go back and stop the profiler again and save the trace. So the first thing I wanted to do was open up the SQL Profiler. It's part of the SQL Management Studio, and the SQL Profiler is since 2014 actually also part of the Express version. I've already configured this one by importing a template, so when I go do a new trace, by default selects the Nav Easy Security one, where I have the right user being filtered in here. The next thing I need to do is to restart my service tier, and I have created a service tier that is intended for recording in here with the right settings, so I'll go ahead and restart that one. That will basically blank out my cache, so I have nothing that is being already on the service tier. It will always read it from the database. After that is finished launching, I can open up NAV, and I will have to select the right server, and I will also select the right company in here. I don't want to do anything else, and I also have a role center selected right now that have very limited data from the business application in NAV. It's a easy security one. You don't want to have a role center that reads a lot of data, because that will of course now be missing in your profiler in here. So, but I'm ready. I will go back to my SQL Profiler, run this trace in here, and it will now start capturing everything I do in here. Going back to NAV, you can get to the application any way you want. I'm going to search and find the list of customers in here. I'll open up a single customer, and I will go change the address, so I have a very simple change I will capture. That is actually just changing the address on a customer in here. You don't have to do every lookup that is in here. We will, with the source code analyzer, add all those read permissions. If you want people to be able to drill down on the balance, you want to click on that one, because that will both capture the objects and the data needed for the drill down. Same thing goes for some of the actions up in the menu. If you want to have the user allowed to do those, you want to be able to click on them, but you don't have to do all the drill downs. But I will close this one, and I have now captured editing a customer in here. So I'll go back to my SQL Profiler. I will stop that and save it as a trace XML file in here. And I'll call this one edit customer 3 in here. I don't need the SQL Profiler for anything anymore. And I don't need to be in this database either. I could capture this one against a totally different database and then go and switch to my Easy Security or production database to actually build a permission set in here. So that is the last part. I want to go to permission sets, create a new one in here, and I will add my recording. And this trace is all the transaction that was done. So since it's just a file, I can basically import it into any database or system using NAV in here. It summarizes both the data and the code access, and I could actually go look at the details, but I just want to get these 93 permissions. That is basically the resulting permission of what I did in here. So I had a modifier on my customer and a lot of readings in here. Same thing about modifying my contact, because the address made that happen behind the scene, and also all the code that was actually being executed in here. But again, this one is only the beginning. As I attach my recording, I can see I get 161 permission. And that is exactly the source code analysis. So all these things saying additional is all the things I didn't have to do. I didn't have to drill down in a salesperson. I already get that read permission and so on for a lot of other permissions in here. So basically what I did, I opened the SQL Profiler, restarted my service tier to blank the cache, opened my NAV client with the right server and company. Then I went and turned on the SQL Profiler. I went through the process. I stopped and saved it. So it's quite a simple process to actually do a recording of something in NAV.